The Zappas are clever hypocrites who have long been the face behind the face of Reagan's politics of espionage in the United States, which is clearly a contraption of foreign development, utilizing language systems and tones of voice from the United States to mimic our public commonwealth. Zappas were with tune, in other words. They use home invasion techniques, extrasensory perception, and Kreskin style ESP because they're building a conglomerate run by Yoko Ono. And the left is stultified when they hear that name. They fall dead, kick their legs up, and start wiggling on their backs to have their bellies scratched. Yoko Ono is a hostile individual out to avenge World War II. Who chose me because of the gravity of the symbolic nature of the little boy bomb. He chose me when I was a little boy from Bush's fleet. He donated me to the fascist Axis revenge system that he put in place to advocate for the military system of absolute rapine called Israel, which was the time was running its big meat cleaver in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, with the help of George Romero, who was my neighbor. The Zappas used this Kreskin ESP system developed by people like Peter Gabriel and Robert Fripp, the people who imply things to get their message across and have Joe Biden's quarterly wandering around the mental health ward saying things like, I think you know what we're saying, when they never really said a word. They got across that Moon Unit Zappa, they believe in free speech except the free speech of others. The letter that I wrote to Leslie perfectly captures the mastermind system of the Wattmakers. It exposes the nerve agent, the suffering, the hysteria, the crying anguish of psychological warfare impinging on the persona's experience. And Moon Unit Zappa crooked her finger and said, with Celine Dion in unison, that's the only letter on earth that we should burn. To help the people who wrote the Texas School Book, which meant kill JFK, used a nerve agent on a little boy, pretended to kill John Lennon. That was their masterstroke. Because the letters were written by Gail Burse and she only signed my name on her bomb. She was working with Milton Schaap. They only signed my name on their bomb. Shapiro only signed my name on his bomb. He didn't give me a chance to understand what it was they were doing. They lied to me about everything. They viciously destroyed my upbringing. And they held me in place as a deaf man, like a zombie, in full view of Allegheny County. So the reason why Moon Unit Zappa wanted to burn the letter was because of the evidence that it contained, not because she thought that my personality had been changed to what Oliver Stone called psychologically consistent with the script. It exposed an injury psychologically consistent with the description of the poison in the script. And Robert Fripp and his sister managed to say that there was a line in the sand because Leslie was taunting me with her tussie. How is that my fault? He just had to make things up to make that work. And they dropped bombs and they ESP'd, and I call them the Swami Nostra because they were working with Clint, getting people over the hurdle of accepting that the Axis had taken our weapons from us, had killed our president, had misled us, has all these quislings just sprinkled into the university system. You know, halfways of Nazi discharge, loping from Charles Bronson at the soup kitchen. And they didn't even follow the symbols that explain it. I mean, Wadmaker works on O'Hara Street, like Scarlett O'Hara. Fiddle DD is the main symbol of this stuff.